It's great to be here, and how amazing it is. You know, 13 years ago, I was the only foreign speaker, and now CPAC is a global brand. Congratulations to Matt and Mercedes Schlapp for making it happen. And what a time it is to cross the pond. My country. You can't say anything, or you might get put in prison. We're getting poorer. Everybody's miserable. We're governed by a left-wing, awful government. Suddenly, post-November the 5th, America is optimistic. It's upbeat. It's the beginning of the golden age in America. And it is all because of one totally extraordinary individual. You know, I can tell you that if you take on the establishment, they do not come out with a tray of drinks. The whole of the British establishment wanted us to be members of the globalist European Union. All the parties, all the big businesses, all the trade unions. And it was almost me alone saying, this is a crazy idea. We want control of our sovereignty, our borders, and our identity back with the British people. And for daring to say that, they made my life hell. But the tough times I went through are as nothing compared to what they put Donald J. Trump through. It went on for year after year after year. Endless court cases, mainstream media abuse, harassment of his family, debanking from some of the worst financial institutions, assassination attempts. And yet this man has come through it braver, stronger, wiser than at any point. He is simply the bravest man that I know, and we should all applaud him. We really should. We really should. And what a pick. What a pick for Vice President. You know, very often, around the world, very often Vice Presidents, American Vice Presidents, are not particularly noticed, not taken that seriously. But after the speech at the Munich Security Conference, I think we can say with some confidence that the American VP is going to be a major part of global politics. And I loved it. I loved it. Did you enjoy his speech? Well, I tell you what, they didn't, did they? They absolutely hated it. It rather reminded me of my times in the European Parliament a decade ago, getting up saying the bloke had the charisma of a damp rag, and that rather upset them. But JD was right to have allowed millions of undocumented young males to come into Europe, many from war zones in which they took an active part, to allow those people who come in, and in many cases come from cultures and countries where women are not even treated as second-class citizens, to have seen the massive increases in crime, gang crime, dramatic increases in sexual crime against women, and yet nobody in the European establishment is prepared to put their hands up to recognise the depth of the problem and to say sorry to their people. And JD called them out in this speech, and he was right. He was right. He also mentioned free speech. And I think there's a third figure in American public life now that is, well, I think he's a hero. Because if you remember 2020, in November, you couldn't say anything about the conduct of the election in this country. You then couldn't say anything about vaccines or about lockdowns without social media closing you down. And then along came the hero of free speech, Elon Musk. Fantastic. And he's fighting for free speech. And boy, if we don't have free speech, we're not living in a free open, democratic society. It matters that much. And I think I believe that the talents of the world's most successful businessmen going into this amazing Doge project, I wish him all the luck in the world and Godspeed. I really, really do. And we very often follow you. American trends we tend to follow. You occasionally follow some of our trends. I mean, you gave us woke. And we gave you Prince Harry. No, you keep him, you keep him. But in 2016, we delivered a political thunderbolt across the whole world, and it was called Brexit. And I believe that a wave crossed the Atlantic and helped Donald Trump win the presidency in November 2016. Well, this time, the Trump win has the ability not just to save your country, not just to make you freer and more prosperous than America has ever been, because undoubtedly that is what is going to happen. But it's also producing a wave that is now coming the other way, across the Atlantic. I had been retired from politics for nearly 4 years, but I decided last June I'd get back into politics because I couldn't bear what was happening in my country. And I am now leading, and in historical terms, this is incredible, I am now leading Reform UK, and we are now topping every opinion poll in Britain. And we are going to win the next general election and save our country. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And what you guys have done, what CPAC, what the activists have done in helping President Trump win 85% of the counties in this great country of yours, to win the House, the Senate, the majority vote, all those things you've done, the confidence of this man, surrounded by a great team, this is all going to blow back and help us in our endeavours and across the rest of Europe too. And I really believe that, like you, British taxpayers have had enough of sending £100,000 to Bangladesh to study shrimp behaviour. But we've had enough of free speech being cracked down upon. We've had enough of two-tier policing, two-tier justice, different groups of people being treated differently by the law. We've had enough of being told, you can't say that. The hell with it. Within the limits of what free speech gives us, we should be allowed to say whatever the hell we want. And we will. And we will. We will deport those who come into Britain by dinghy illegally. We will make sure that those to come to Britain legally subscribe to our shared values. In fact, in many ways, what we're fighting for is a very similar agenda to the one that you've just fought for and the one that you have just succeeded with. I want to finish by saying, as a regular at CPAC and as somebody who has publicly supported President Trump and been a friend of his for a decade, this is a remarkable CPAC coming together. This is something to celebrate in style, to be proud of. You're going to make America great again, and we in turn will make Britain great again. Thank you. Thank you very much.